Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Zach, and with Series 12 announced, we found out that come February all the way up to August, we will be able to play with 2 restricteds in a team. Now, this is not new, but it is new to the Dynamax format in Sword and Shield itself. For the longest time, we thought GS Cup 2 restricteds were coming, but they ended up doing just 1 when we thought they were due 2, and now 2 restricteds is finally here. So today I wanted to talk about something a little different. I have been trying some on the ladder, but none of these strategies so far, but I wanted to talk about restricteds as supportive mons. I know that's a little weird because with a restricted you usually want it to be a powerhouse, but some of these restricted mons do get good supportive moves that can really help a team out. So first off, we want to talk about the mons that get Trick Room. You have Calyrex Ice Rider and Shadow Rider, actually. Dialga, Lunala, and Solgaleo. So I feel like the only bad thing about this setup, besides Dialga and Lunala and Calyrex and Dialga, their type matchup is too common, where 3 out of the 4 mons are Psychic type. So I feel like that might have some bad team synergy. But if you're gonna see these combinations at all, you might see Calyrex Ice and Dialga, and you could play who's gonna click Trick Room? If they lead Fake Out or if they lead Taunt, they can't taunt both mons, they can't fake out both, well, they could fake out both mons. But I feel like Trick Room is pretty good. Not to mention, you can take any of these 4 mons and slap a Groudon on there as well. Groudon is good in Trick Room. Palkia gets Trick Room as well. So if you wanted a second Trick Room setter to go with one of these, you could go Palkia as well, but I didn't feel like it filled the role as well as these 4 mons. The most common Trick Room users we see are Calyrex Ice and Dialga, but Solgaleo doesn't mind Trick Room being up, especially if you plan your team that way. And then Lunala had a lot of Trick Room in 2019, but I feel like that was sometimes more of a counter anti-Trick Room strategy rather than setting up Trick Room itself. So these are the 4 restricted mons that actually get Trick Room, and then there's a few more like Mewtwo and that, but I didn't feel like they fit the role as well. Next up we have Yveltal, and Yveltal, in the sense of denying Trick Room, gets Taunt, and it also gets Tailwind. So Yveltal is the opposite in this case, and I think it's the only one that naturally gets Tailwind. I think with Ho-Oh, it got Tailwind, but it was a tutor move in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Next up is another Lunala, but Lunala has access to Wide Guard as well, which is really good because Yveltal has Snarl, the Callies have their spread moves, Groudon has Precipice Blades, and then Kyogre has Water Spout and Origin Pulse, all spread moves that can be stopped with Wide Guard. So I feel like Wide Guard might be useful somewhere on your team if you have a bad matchup against Kyogre or Groudon or one of the riders. It can really turn the tide. Lunala used to also get Tailwind as well in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, but it does not get Tailwind anymore because it was a tutor move for Lunala. So I put Icy Wind. Now I know Icy Wind is not like a all-in supportive move, but I feel like it does play more of a supportive role than it does an offensive role. But it does do good damage to Landorus, so you can always tech that on to a Lunala. And what makes Lunala helpful with things like Icy Wind and Trick Room is its Shadow Shield. At full health, it halves the damage taken by the first move it gets hit with. Lunala also gets access to Helping Hand, which a lot of restricteds actually get Helping Hand. As you can see, a lot of mons get Helping Hand, but I felt like other than maybe Lugia, Lunala could fit Helping Hand the best, and Zamazenta, but we'll get to Zamazenta in a moment. Zamazenta is probably what I think might be the best case scenario for a supportive restricted. It's super bulky, still hits hard, and it has access to a lot of great support moves. You have Helping Hand, which Helping Hand is obvious. We just talked about Helping Hand, which could help special attackers and physical attackers. Coaching, which boosts attack and defense, which could make your attacking mon a lot bulkier and hit harder, and also kind of evens out Intimidate you might see. And then Wide Guard. We talked about Wide Guard before, where a lot of these restricteds are having spread moves, which it's not as helpful because this is a Dynamax format. So where if they're walled out by a Wide Guard, they could Dynamax if that's still an option and still hit their moves. But it also gets Howl. It gets screens as well. But like I said, screens on a restricted, I don't feel like it's one of those things that it's useful. If you're going to run screens, you probably want to try to fit a Grimmsnarl or another screen setter on your team. There is also Safeguard. Safeguard is pretty good, but out of the moves that Zamazenta does get access to, I feel like Safeguard is lower on the priority unless you have maybe a really physical team. And then another thing that I saw while testing stuff on ladder, Thunderwave. A random amount of restricteds get access to Thunderwave. The craziest thing is when I came across this, it was a Groudon. A Groudon, it missed, but a Groudon tried to use Thunderwave on me, and it totally caught me off guard. It was something I didn't realize. There were some older strategies that were possible in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, like Psych Up, and I was looking into that to see if that was possible, but none of the restricteds get Psych Up naturally. Lunala and Kyogre got it as tutor moves, so when it comes to supportive or random tech on these restricteds, there's not as much as there was in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, but I do feel like knowing that these mons get these moves and putting that in a team where it might be needed is helpful. But what do you think about using a restrictive as a supportive mon? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you guys enjoy this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. Hope for Master Ball for the remainder of Series 11 will come out soon, and then we will also be planning some stuff for Series 12. But until next time, I'm Zach, and I'll see everyone later.